You have now access to complicated production.
You already know what time it is. Welcome back into the What Offseason Sports Podcast, everybody. Coming on today's episode, we have a very special guest. I have the opportunity to have the two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, currently at CBS Sports, now the host of his own podcast with current NFL DB Patrick Peterson, BMac, Bryant McFadden. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is it true that you played a little bit of free safety at FSU?
Not really. I mostly was a cornerback. Honestly, I didn't play any free safety. I don't know exactly why they have that on my profile, but yeah, I was basically always commanding one of the cornerback positions while I was in Tallahassee.
Right. Did you aspire to play any other positions before you settled to be a corner?
Yeah, I mean, growing up playing Little League football, of course, like most little leaguers, I played everything. But I was always a guy that loved to tackle. So defense was where I wanted to be, playing defense. But I played wide receiver, played tight end,
Nice.
even played
Absolutely.
a wide receiver. I was kick returner, punt returner. But defense is where my heart was.
Absolutely. Hey, man, and you know it too. Defense wins championship. You being a part of that Steelers defense and really
Exactly.
a golden age of football. Do you remember your first career interception?
First career interception was against Jacksonville, Byron Leftwich. Interception that forced the game into overtime against Jacksonville in Pittsburgh. We lost that ball game, but yeah, my rookie year, I can't remember exactly what game it was, but I think it happened somewhere in October or November because it was pretty cold. It was snowing, if I'm not mistaken.
Off your first NFL pick, knowing that you were responsible for putting your team in a position to win in such a crucial game and just you being a rookie, how did that make you feel?
It really made me feel like I was officially a part of the team, officially a part of the defense. And the unique thing about that team in 2005, we had quality, sound veteran leadership, throughout the roster.
Absolutely. In Pittsburgh.
And I was one of the young players that was fortunate enough to really play a little bit during my rookie campaign, mostly on special teams. And when I got a shot to play on the defense, I just wanted to really show the guys that I belong. And I think that was that was the moment for me to be able to show, because initially I wasn't supposed to play really a lot of defensive snaps, but we had an injury that occurred, and then they called me, and I remember it. Bill Cowher asked me, "Do I know the defense?" And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, he's like, you sure you know the defense? Just from the standpoint of not knowing, some rookies might not be there mentally, and he was like, you sure you know the defense? I was like, yeah, I got it. I know it. As long as you guys not calling anything we didn't work throughout the week of prep, I should be fine. And I got in and, was fortunate enough to make that play.
Yeah, that was a huge play for you, especially being a rookie so earlier in your career. Sticking here in your rookie season, 05 and 06, we're going to look at the AFC divisional game. I know you remember it, against the ridiculous 14-2 Colts. I mean, arguably one of the best teams in NFL history. Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Dwight Freeney, you name it, they had it back then. When Jerome Bettis fumbled and then Big Ben makes that touchdown saving tackle, what is going through your head at that moment as you're on the sideline, knowing you now have to go in?
Man, I can't believe we blew it. Like, this is a chance for us to get to the AFC Championship game, and we might let it slip through our fingers. In all honesty, that happened when it happened. Defensively, we were on the sideline and we were just heckling the fans. We were talking so much trash because early in the year we went to Indianapolis in the RCA Dome. They beat us bad. Right. And Davis, they were a great team. They were one of the best teams, I think, to not win a championship, clearly in that era. But when that happened, it was like a state of shock because we didn't actually see the play. We was too busy facing the crowd, talking trash to the crowd.
So it was definitely a shock to you then when you turn your back and see that
we
just flipped.
We heard the crowd cheering, and we were like, why? We know there's a lot of Steelers fans in the building, but why are they cheering for a touchdown? Because we thought we were going to score.
Right.
And we happened to look, and we saw Nick Harper running with the football, so we were like, what happened? And then we were like, oh, shoot, he's going to score. And then Ben is like, trying to slow him up, and he was able to make the tackle.
What a tackle by Ben.
Yeah, great tackle. Then sudden change happens for defense. We're on the sideline cheering to in a state of shock to, oh, we got to go run on the football field. So in all, man, like the emotional roller coaster throughout that minute or so was it was very, very difficult to explain. It was unexpected, number one, but difficult to explain.
Right, absolutely. And I would have to say, with you being called on immediately in that moment, you did not crack under the pressure, because you come up with two huge plays right after you have to get back out on the field. Peyton Manning throws a shot to Reggie Wayne, and you make a beautiful play on the football in the end zone. As that ball is coming down, knowing that the game is really riding on that play, describe your level of confidence in that moment for me, BMac.
I just didn't want to let my teammates down. I didn't want to let the guys down. Defensively, I was only rookie on the football field.
Right. And wow. Talk about pressure.
Yeah, playing against a Hall of Fame player like Reggie Wayne, and his quarterback's a Hall of Fame player as well. I just didn't want to let the team down. And we knew they were going to take a shot because 3 points would have tied the ball game, but they wanted to try to end the ball game. And we really had a lot of success against them throughout that ball game. So I just didn't want to let the guys down. And I was able to be in position, locate the football. And Reggie still was fighting to try to catch the ball. I just wanted to fight until I knew he didn't have the ball. And when that play happened, people say this all the time, it's like in the moment of big plays, when you're involved, you don't hear anything. You don't see anything.
Tunnel vision.
Yes, it's just like it felt like it was just me, the ball, and Reggie Wayne in the RCA Dome with nobody else. And I didn't come back down to reality until I hit the turf, saw the ball, he didn't have it, then I heard everything. And I mean, that's how it happened. It's almost like a blackout moment, but I'm seeing everything. I just don't hear nothing.
With you being able to make a play like that, I was looking at that before we were able to get on here and do the episode together. And, I was just really thinking the way that you played that ball and seeing today's rules in the NFL, I almost felt like that would have been flagged in today's league. Do you think if you played today in the game, you would be able to adjust your style to prevent what it feels like massive amount of pass interference calls coming in?
You have another choice. If you don't, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
But through times, you got to make adjustments in many different things. And you can say the same for some offensive adjustments that they have to make nowadays. So, yeah, as a defender, it's an offensive league. Most rules seem to trend in favor of offensive players. So you got to just make adjustments. And that's why, most organizations usually have referees involved in practices, training camps, mini camps, just to get the guys accustomed to the new rules, whether the new rules might be that upcoming year. Just being able to start policing yourself throughout preparation, so you'll be more accustomed to what it would feel like during game time. You had just mentioned previously that you were actually the only rookie on the field for the Steelers during that game. I want to actually talk a little bit about one of the greatest teammates and one of my favorite defensive players of all time, Troy Polamalu. You being drafted in 2005 and then Polamalu in 2003. Did you know, or rather did he show early on that he had the potential to go down as the Troy Polamalu, one of the greatest safeties of all time? Yeah, I knew Troy was special when I was watching Troy in college. Right. Yeah, when I was watching Troy in college, his last year at SC, he was making a lot of national noise. And then when he got drafted to Pittsburgh, just me being a fan of the game, and Pittsburgh was always on a primetime stage. His rookie year, he didn't really, show a lot of flashes, but he had plays, moments here or there. And then I think maybe his second or third year is where he kind of took off. And, he's had that skill set, being at that time, many people felt, he wasn't the ideal safety when it came to measurables. Wow. For him to not be the ideal 6'2", 6'3" type safety, right, extremely chiseled, to go in the first round, he was special, and he was very, very instinctive and played fast. Was a knowledgeable guy of the game, and when he got to the next level in Pittsburgh, man, he just took off. So yeah, I knew Troy was gonna be special. I saw it before I got to Pittsburgh, and then I had an opportunity to see it up close in person when I was there.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, he was a heck of a teammate, and that's actually hearing you say that he wasn't really the textbook clear-cut safety. It's crazy to think that, because I mean, you want to talk about just an all-time athlete in general, especially somebody at the safety position, between the way he could acrobat, hit, and just like you said, with playing with the speed of the game. Absolutely insane to think that people wouldn't think off the rip that he was a clear-cut safety. I feel like you really played in a golden era of football from 2005 to 2011. Who did you feel like was the most respected player, or rather your role model back then when you were in the league?
I mean, the most respected player was quite a few guys. When you look at some of the elite quarterbacks, yeah, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, guys like McNabb.
Right.
Before the injury, Carson was a well-respected guy. Carson Palmer.
Right.
Brett Favre.
Of course.
Breeze. Still playing top-tier football. Kurt Warner. I mean, a laundry list of guys. Randy Moss.
Oh yeah. You're naming them now.
Ed Taylor. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Right.
Strahan.
Oh yeah. One of the best ends.
Yeah, so it's a Ray Lewis, of course. Man, it's a laundry list of guys to talk about well respected. I think the era that I played in, I caught that old style play still, the physical nature of the game, and then kind of it transitioned to be a little more finesse because of safety. So I played in. It felt like two different eras, because like I said, in 05, people were getting knocked out and still playing in ball games. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're not as sensitive as it is now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I played in the heck of an era. Still a part of that old vibe of football that we grew up loving and watching, and then kind of transitioning to policing a lot more, than what we used to see. Yeah, but the most respected, I probably would say, either Peyton or Tom Brady.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. And you even see Brady still playing today, like you mentioned, Breeze as well. Before we wrap up here, obviously, you had a heck of a career with the Steelers, the two-time Super Bowl champion, being able to get all those opportunities. With the Steelers sitting at 7-0 this year, I'm not extremely sold on the offense, but of course we know that the defense is there. What do you feel like is the X factor this year for Pittsburgh pushing for that next title?
Health. Just simple. It's health.
Right.
Health derailed the year last year. So far they've been healthy. You lost Devin Bush, but defensively they got so many good players that you can kind of cover up that loss. And they just acquired Williamson, Avery Williamson from the Jets. That's a big move. That's a big move. I like him. He can go. Oh yeah, but just health. I think if they stay healthy, man, you see what they've been able to do so far this season. If they can just dodge the injury bug, especially to key players, yeah, the sky's the limit. I mean, the sky's the limit for them, and I can't wait to see exactly how far they'll go in trying to climb in the sky, but the sky is definitely the limit.
What would you say separate Mike Tomlin from other NFL coaches?
He just knows how to motivate guys. He knows how to motivate guys and get guys to believe in themselves, in the system. And he's a guy that understands situational football. He just get guys to buy in, and I think that is something that's trendy for him, and because of that, he's never had a losing season. Coaching 14 years in the National Football League and never experiencing a losing season is big.
Very remarkable.
And he hasn't. I know they're 7-0, and he's one game away from accomplishing that again, and I think he will, barring anything crazy happening. But he continues to add to his resume. He just became the all-time winningest black coach, just surpassed Tony Dungy, which is a huge achievement. So he's one of the best coaches in the league, but sometimes he kind of gets overlooked in that.
He got robbed last year of Coach of the Year, BMac.
Yeah.
Robbed.
Just continues to keep chopping wood, but a lot of people are not really giving him his just due. But I think what he's doing this year, especially what he did last year without Big Ben and still being in playoff contention until the end of the season, definitely put more light on what he's been able to do, and he's been able to carry that on into this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like last year really just, as if people didn't already know, like you mentioned, that Mike Tomlin was that guy. I think doing what he was able to do last year and then, boom, never having a losing season, 14 years of the NFL, that's definitely something you have to give all the credit to. I
just realized you're a Saints fan, huh?
I am. I'm a really big Saints fan, man. My whole dad's side of the family's from New Orleans, so it's tough this year. I'm a believer, but I'm realistic at the same time, you know? So
Yeah. Well, you got a big one coming up on Sunday night.
Whew, yeah, man. And I was just telling my buddy, I believe we can win that game. I know the defense is ugly, but I'm always a believer. But if we don't get at least Sanders or Thomas back, I think it's going to go well. I don't think it's going to go well.
Have they said anything about them playing this Sunday?
I don't think so yet. I was actually looking today. I know the injury report, the first one for the week, I don't know if it's dropped yet, but I know they usually have them drop on Thursday. But I was looking, and I think Sanders might miss again because of, testing positive for COVID and everything. But barring another fiasco with Michael Thomas, I'm assuming that he's actually going to be on the field Sunday. So I'm crossing my fingers, my fingers, because I give all the credit to the Saints. Breeze getting a little more comfortable with his receivers. He's kind of a shell of himself, but he's throwing to guys like Marquez Callaway and Traquan Smith who are still trying to earn their stripes. So I got to give credit to my team, but we got to turn the corner. We got to get past the hump, and it's still kind of early in the year, but it's getting to that time where it's do it or don't.
Yeah, well, you get those guys back, and then you just traded for Quan Alexander.
Yes.
That's a nice move. So
yeah,
you get Thomas and the Sanders back, man. You right there with Tampa.
Yeah, I hope so, man. And people are talking about, week one and all this and that, but I'm like, man, week one that don't count. I throw all those stats out the window. That game wasn't played. This is fresh turf. We're in Tampa Bay this time. I don't know if there's limited attendance but whatever the case is, we're outside and we're not at home. So we got to play our best game, no turnovers, and we got to have our guys. And I hate to say it could get ugly quick though.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is one of the hottest teams in the league right now. So
yeah, but they're beatable. So
yeah, they are beatable for sure. Absolutely,
it's gonna be a good, fun game. I can't wait to check it out.
Absolutely. If you had to pick one team this year to win it all, who do you think it would be?
Either Kansas City or Baltimore.
You said a bunch of them.
I said either Kansas City or Baltimore.
Yeah.
I pick one, but I think the winner of the AFC will win it.
Right. Yeah, the AFC is they're a powerhouse. And you look at all the NFC teams up top, Seattle, bad defense. They're trying to get guys in there, but they know the defense is bad. Obviously, you've seen that you can beat Brady and the Bucs, just get them a little frustrated, throw them off their game. The Saints are kind of a pop gun offense. The Packers have gotten exposed a little bit, but you want to talk about the dogs. Top three in the league right now, it's Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and then, Baltimore, or not Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Baltimore's right there. So, the AFC hangs heavy for sure with the competition. So
yeah, I think the winner of the AFC would be my pick.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Kansas City they're looking good, and now they're starting to run the ball a little bit. They're getting scary because if they can take the pressure off Mahomes, not that he cracks, because that's obviously the thing with Mahomes is Lamar's not able to really. I don't think he obviously hasn't got a big game under his belt yet. But Mahomes, the way he's playing, man, it's insane. I definitely think Kansas City is on the road to repeat. I hope they get stopped, but I'm just being real. So
no question. All right, well, shoot, appreciate you having me.
Hey, BMac, no, man, the pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for coming on the show. But that is going to wrap up today's episode of the What Off Season Sports Podcast, everybody. I had the amazing pleasure of having Bryant McFadden on the show with me. He hosts his own podcast with Patrick Peterson. You can check him out on the All Things Covered pod. Check him out on CBS Sports as well. Again, I super appreciate the opportunity, man. I look forward to doing a lot more work with you.
No problem. Keep chopping wood.
Absolutely. Thank you.